Creepiest things kids have ever said. A father and his 5-year-old daughter sat together drawing animals. While drawing, the little girl said aloud, "Papa, if I was an animal, I'd be a teeny tiny spider." Her dad, intrigued, looked up from his drawing and replied, "That's cool. Why a spider?" Without pausing her drawing, she said, "So I can crawl in your ear while you're asleep and lay eggs in your brain." One late evening while reading a bedtime story, a father was startled by his 4-year-old son's question. "Why does the woman in the corner always disappear when you look at her?" The father, thinking that the 4-year-old is referring to some character in the story, chuckles and says, "Wait, in the story? Who are you talking about?" But the boy, his eyes now wide and serious, points to a dark corner of the room, insisting, "No, the woman who's always over there in the corner." A chill ran down the father's spine as he reluctantly followed his son's gaze to the dark corner, only to find nothing but shadows. "There's nothing over there," he reassured his son and himself. But the boy replied firmly, "Well, yeah, she disappears when you look at her." A 6-year-old girl was playing alone with dolls in her room while her mother completed chores around the house. Abruptly, though, the mother hears her little girl start absolutely screaming from the other room. Springing into action, her mother dashed into the room, alarmed and concerned. The little girl was on the floor in the middle of her room, clutching her ears tightly, her small body rocking back and forth as she continued to scream. Her mother, then trying to soothe her, asked, "Sweetheart, please tell me what's happening." Through her continued screams, the little girl managed to yell in a panicked cry, "If I scream out loud, it makes the screams in my head quieter." A babysitter was sitting with a toddler in a backyard sandbox, fully engaged in their playful digging, when she noticed the 7-year-old brother standing quietly by a tree nearby. Her eyes followed him as he methodically plucked leaves from the tree, each movement deliberate and focused. Then he suddenly turned towards the babysitter with a chillingly cheerful smirk and said, "The trees cry when I pull their leaves. I like it." A sense of discomfort hit the babysitter, her smile fading as she tried to make sense of his disturbing comment. The boy, unbothered by her reaction, started to crush and crumble the leaves in his hand, his gaze intensely fixed on the fragments falling through his fingers. During a calm morning, a 4-year-old boy sat quietly staring at his assorted group of toys. Suddenly, he broke the silence. Looking up at his parents, his blue eyes wide with a mix of fear and innocence, said, "When I'm in bed, I hear my toys talking." "What do you mean they talk to you at night, sweetheart?" his mother asked softly, kneeling down to be at eye level with the boy. The boy, clutching a stuffed bear a little tighter to his chest, replied hesitantly, "They say scary things when it's dark. They say they want to wear my skin so that they can look like me." During a family dinner at his aunt and uncle's house, an 8-year-old boy revealed with a troubled expression, "When I'm alone, I hear someone breathing right next to me, but no one's there." His aunt paused, her fork mid-air, and asked gently, "What do you mean, dear?" The boy looked down at his plate and repeated, "I mean, when I'm in my room, there's this breathing sound right beside me, even though I can't see anyone there." His aunt leaned in and asked, "Have you told your parents about this?" The boy shook his head, his voice small as he replied, "Mom says it's just my imagination, and Dad tells me just to shut up about it." In a preschool's play area, a distressed 4-year-old boy was forcefully tearing off the arms and legs of action figures, and even trying to bite off their heads. As the teachers noticed and moved in to gently intervene, looking up at them, he said with a scared, quivering voice, "I'm breaking them and biting them, but they won't bleed." In a small country home, a 5-year-old boy had taken a recent interest in wearing dresses and adorning himself with sparkling jewelry. One evening, as the boy twirled around the living room in a flowing pink dress, his mother noticed the joy in his eyes and said, "You look very happy in that dress, honey." The boy stopped twirling and looked at his reflection in the mirror. "Yes, Mommy, the shadow man in the mirror will be happy with this dress." Confused by his remark, his father chirped in, "Who's the man in the mirror, buddy?" The boy then pointed to the mirror and said, "He's there. He tells me he likes it when I wear dresses."